everybody, once again we're in my kitchen and we're going to make something that I have made for many years. This is a staple in my family tradition and it's called 6-layer dinner. I hope you stay tuned to find out what is a 6-layer dinner. Today I'm going to be making 6-layer casserole. And it's really simple, but it does take a while to cook it because we put it in a slow oven for about 2 to 3 hours. Everything is placed in our casserole raw, but it is an amazing meal. It's using staple foods, it's extremely frugal, and you can make it meatless if you don't like meat, but I am going to add the ground beef to it. So let's get started right into this recipe. So where does this recipe come from? It's the More for Less cookbook. This was Grandma Fanny's favorite cookbook. I don't know whatever happened to hers. Somebody in the family must have got it, but I got a copy of it at my local thrift store many months ago. The More for Less cookbook. I'm going to share with you in a link in the description box. Click on Show More and there you'll see the link. And it is 6-layer dinner. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to layer it with 2 potatoes. Now I'm going to be using quite a bit more potatoes in mine, but you're supposed to slice 2 potatoes and I'm using about 5. Now it doesn't matter the amounts that you use in this, it's just to your liking. So if you have a family that's larger, you can just add more of the ingredients. These are just staple ingredients. As you've seen in many of my videos, I use potatoes. That is a Pennsylvania Dutch staple in most households is potatoes. Potatoes are very frugal. They can go a long way. They're great to store. You can store them a long time. Alright, so the next thing it calls for is 2 medium carrots. Now I'm going to share with you a little tip. All of these carrots are in water with a little bit of salt added to them. This is a trick that my mom taught me when I was a little girl. If you want to have some carrots already cut up, you just add a little salt to the water. Now I do use Himalayan salt, or I do use the salt that has high minerals. I do not use iodized salt. So I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle some carrots on here. It calls for 2 medium carrots, but I'll just make a layer of carrots. As you can see, so far this is fairly healthy. Looks good to me. Then the next thing it calls for is 1/2 cups of uncooked rice. And that's why it takes so long to bake in the oven, because everything we're putting in is raw. 1/2 cup of uncooked rice. This is not the minute rice. This is regular long grain white rice. Then it calls for 2 small onions. I have them already chopped in my chopper. So it's 2 small onions. This was 1 medium onion. But onions give it so much flavor. And now we have one last ingredient. Let me wash my hands and I'll show you what we used at the end. The very last thing it calls for is 1 pound of ground beef that's raw. So we don't saute this, it's actually raw ground beef. Now I may not use a full pound of it because meat right now is extremely expensive, and as we all know, it is very hard to find. So I may not use the whole pound. But we just crumble it like this on top. How easy can this be? Everything is just placed raw. Now this ground beef is just a little bit frozen yet, but that's okay. Alright, I'm going to go wash my hands again, and then I'll show you what we put as the liquid. The very last thing that we're going to add is 1 quart of home canned tomatoes. Now, if you don't have home canned tomatoes, 1 quart of regular tomatoes. Use regular pureed tomatoes, 1 whole quart of them. And this is what's going to give you your liquid to cook your rice. Very good. And on top of that, it calls for 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Now anything in here you can omit if you want. You don't have to have the brown sugar. And you don't have to have the rice if you don't want the rice. But there you go, my friends. That is all it is to it. Now we're going to put some foil on it, put it in the oven, and it's going to take 2 to 3 hours. It takes quite a while to bake this. I'm going to read the recipe one more time. It's from the More for Less cookbook. You preheat your oven at 300. It's called 6-layer dish. It takes about 2.5 to 3 hours. Now I am setting mine at 325. You're going to layer as follows. 2 medium potatoes sliced raw, 2 medium carrots sliced raw, 1/2 cup of uncooked rice, 2 small onions sliced, 1 pound of ground beef, 1 quart of canned tomatoes, and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. So there you go, everyone. You know, so many times people think by working in your kitchen and creating meals from scratch or creating meals at home, they think it's so time consuming. And to be honest with you, really it's not. It's not time consuming whatsoever. So what I like to do is, not only because I make videos, but in my whole life in general, every Sunday I go through my cookbooks and I figure out what I want to make that week. Then I look and see if I have the ingredients to make that. And then I get everything out the day before. And so it's a little bit like getting ready. Getting ready the day before when you know you're going away somewhere. So I set out all of my ingredients the day before, the night before, set everything out so it's ready to go the next day. It's so easy. I wake up in the morning, I get my chores done, I go into the kitchen, and everything is sitting right here to make my meal. Making meals are not hard at all as long as you have organization. Go through your books or go through online and find out the things that you want to eat or the things you want to make. Write them down and see if you have the ingredients. Now, I'm very much known for substituting things. I'm very big on that. So a lot of times, if I don't have something in a recipe, I will substitute it for something else. And 9 times out of 10, it works out great. You know, it doesn't really make a difference if you substitute. Yes, there are a few things that you really can't substitute, but you know, in life, recipes, the best recipes are ones that you made right up here and not right in here. So I hardly ever follow a recipe to the T. I'm always using different ingredients that I have here in the homestead. I'm always working on different ways that I can create my own recipes. And you know what? It's never the same thing twice. Especially when I make chili. I can make chili hundreds of times and it's never exactly the same because the majority of the times I'm using my home canned food. My home canned food from one year to the next always differs. It always tastes a little bit different, but you know what? It always tastes really good. So with the magic of the camera, I'll show you what this meal looks like, and I hope you give the 6-layer dinner a try. Finished. And this is what it looks like. Take a look at that. Yumminess. Yum, yum. So you just cut it like this. Use this ladle and spoon. The potatoes are tender, the carrots are tender, and that's what it looks like. In my recipes, you never see me add salt and pepper. We always, at home, had our salt and pepper on the table, and we would use it individually. I use a little bit of pepper, and then I used my smoked salt. This is smoked apple salt. And I will leave this at the description box below. I get it on Amazon. I buy about 2 to 3 pounds at a time, and it lasts me a long time, maybe 2 years. So it's apple wood smoked. They have all kinds of different wood. This has all the minerals, so your salt is not white. And then I put little bits of rice in here to keep it from clumping. But there you go. That is the meal, and let me taste it. Here you go, my friends. Take a look. It's a healthy dinner, and it's stuff that you would have in your pantry or stuff you should have on hand. Nothing exotic about this. It's home comfort food. That is perfect. The rice gets out perfect. If you have some home canned tomatoes, even better, but you can use any quart of tomatoes that you wish. This is a perfect meal. I hope you give it a try, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Mwah! Bye, everybody. I also want to give a special thank you. Thank you, everyone, for enjoying these videos of me cooking low budget, low cost food. It really makes my heart glad to see that so many people are viewing these kind of videos and that you're enjoying it. So stay tuned because we have a whole bunch more cooking videos coming your way. Cooking Homestead Tessie style. See you guys tomorrow and a big mwah!